Hi everybody. You can see the gym is empty and we really miss all of you and hope you're staying well at home. And I just wanted to bring a little message of movement for you today. I know there's not a lot of activity going on, not a lot of things to get us out and about, of course, but I want to make sure that we're not just sitting. I've seen a lot of people walking, and that's great, but in between those walks, we don't want you to sit for more than 45 minutes to an hour at a time without getting up and moving. So here's some suggestions that I have for you to do when you get up to stand every 45 minutes to an hour and help keep those muscles in our legs strong, those muscles that keep us up tall and walking tall. There's some research out over the last 10 years and kind of a coined phrase that says sitting is the new smoking, and I believe that. If we're sitting for too long, it's as bad for us and bad for our health as smoking. So time to get up and get moving. So our first exercise really is, if you are sitting now, I want you to just get up and simply squeeze the buttocks and hold that squeeze for 5 to 10 seconds. And then relax. Put your hands right there on your buttocks so you can feel that muscle tightening and you know you're doing something that is good and important. So squeeze and hold 5 to 10 seconds and relax. Simply doing this every hour is better than nothing. It's better than just sitting. We want you up and at least straightening that spine and squeezing those buttock muscles. Then you can move into another exercise that we at the center here like to do. It's called just sit to stand. So you're going to be seated at the front edge of your chair. Try to have your arms at your side or maybe even across your chest. And you're just going to practice coming all the way up, squeezing that buttocks at the top and back down. And up and down. Now, if that feels easy to you, you might want to move a little faster than I am. Go more quickly. Or you could put a little weight in your arms. This, for me, is 8 pounds right now. If you have 4 or 5 pound bag of sugar or flour, that would work too. The key here is that you're rising all the way up, straightening, squeezing the buttocks, and back down. Squeeze at the top, and lower back down, nice and slow. No plops. If that feels too difficult for you, then we want you to raise your chair. Sit on a pillow or a cushion. Raise it up a little bit. Makes it easier to come to the top. This is not an exercise that would be done well from your couch, which is low and soft. So you want to try and grab a chair that is firm, like your dining room chair, kitchen chair. Next exercise is just simply a high march. And what you want to do is really try squeezing the buttock of the leg you're standing on. So raise it high. This is meant to be raised slow. If you feel a little unsteady, have a chair nearby that you can touch. But again, the emphasis here is on squeezing the buttock of the leg you're standing on. Nice and slow and lift. And as with any of these exercises, there's not a magic number that any one of us should do. The bottom line is to do it with good form and to do it to the point that those muscles start to feel a little fatigued. Next exercise is going to be tap and squat. So I'm going to ask you to tap your foot to the side, and then you're going to squat down and all the way up. Tap, tap, down, and up. Tap, tap, down. When you squat down, you want the weight on those heels. And you don't want those knees to come out over your toes. So your weight is back on those heels. And again, you're going to do enough of these so that your buttocks, your quads start to feel a little bit of a burn. This is more about form than speed. Good. If you're starting to get tired, feel free that at any point you can go ahead and sit. You're in your own living room. No one's watching you. I can't see you. I want you to do what you need to do to stay safe and, more than anything else, enjoy. Feel like you're doing something good for yourself, because you are. Okay. Good. We're going to take a little break for our quads, and this time we're just going to rise up on our toes and down. And when you rise up, again, squeezing that buttock. If this feels easy for you, try staying on those toes and simply doing a bounce. When we do this exercise, we're really working those calf muscles. So if you're feeling it in your calf, that's good. So again, you can rise up on the toes, squeeze the buttocks, or keep that buttock squeezed and bounce through those toes. Good. You're doing a great job. Hang in there with me. I know my calves are starting to burn. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. Put me on pause and get a glass of water if you need to. Our next exercise, we're going to do those squats again. This time we're going to be turning. So just watch me, and then you can go ahead and try it yourself. I'm going to squat down, turn left, back to the middle, turn to the right, back to the middle, left, and right. Now again, don't feel like you have to compete with me. Go only as low as you feel like you can, and keep yourself in control. So if you can only go down a little bit, that's okay. Each day you do this, you may find yourself getting a little lower. Good. By now you may feel your buttocks or your quads starting to get a little tired. Try and hang in there, but if you're starting to feel too fatigued, it's perfectly fine to sit, take a rest for a moment. The next exercise we're going to try is a lunge. So, again, you might want that chair beside you if you're feeling a little unsteady. Hold on. If not, keep your hands to the side. You're going to step back and lower down, come back up. We're going to alternate right and left. Again, you want to step back and feel the work in that buttocks muscle as you go down and push back up. Down and push back up. Again, if you're feeling a little unsteady, feel free to have that hand on the chair. If you're doing all right, hands at your side. Or if you're feeling ready, arms up in the air. Give you a little bit more of a balance exercise and really work at keeping your trunk nice and tall. We always want to be upright when we're doing these exercises. No bending forward like this. You shouldn't be looking at the floor. You want to be looking straight ahead in front of you. If that lunge feels too difficult, you can also simply just tap your foot behind you. Tap and return. Tap and return. And when you tap, you really want to squeeze that buttocks. Okay. Now, you're gaining some nice strength in those hip muscles, and it's these muscles that help us to keep our balance on one leg. There's lots of muscles involved and lots of mechanisms involved in this, but crucial is nice, strong hip muscles. So I want you to start with your hand on the chair, and you're going to slowly lift one leg off the floor and squeeze that buttock. We don't want a lot of this, so I'd rather you have a little touch, not a lot of pressure, but a little touch to try and help you to stay steady. And think about squeezing that buttock muscle. And after about 10 or 20 seconds, you can put that foot down and then go to the opposite side. Squeeze and lift. It also helps to find a focal point ahead of you, something that's very stable that you can get your vision on, and that will go a long way to helping you stay nice and steady. Again, if that feels difficult, you can always modify it a little bit by just simply putting your toe down on the floor. Not a lot of pressure, but just your toe touching the floor will make it easier for you to stay steady again on that nice stance leg with a good contraction of that gluteus muscle. Good. And then switch to the other side. These muscles are the ones that help to keep our pelvis nice and level when we're walking. If we're not activating this muscle, what happens is we drop. So we take a step and drop, or drop like that. We don't want any dropping here. We want you to stay nice and tall, keep that pelvis level. Whether your toe is off the ground or just down a little bit touching, or if you need to touch the chair, the idea is that you feel the work in this stance leg. Great. Nice work. We're going to do one last squat before we venture into some stretching exercises. So all I want you to do is, with that chair behind you in case you need it, I want you to just squat and hold. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and up. And squat and hold. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and up. And down. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and up. And down. 2, 3, 4, and up. And down. 1, 2, and up. Nice work. Now, we're going to do a little bit of stretching because we use these buttocks and quads muscles quite a bit. So I'm going to have you sit at the edge of your chair, put your hands on the chair, one leg back. You want that knee to really drop down towards the floor and kind of lean forward. So this thigh is nice and straight and underneath the chair behind you, and you should feel a slight stretch there. These muscles are going to feel a lot better tomorrow having stretched at the end of your exercise. And then after about 30 to 60 seconds, you can switch feet. You feel a little bit of stretch, that's great. This isn't torture, So it should be not real comfortable, but certainly not distressing. If you're not feeling a stretch when you do that and you feel like your balance is adequate, you can put your knee on the chair and grab your ankle underneath you and lift this way. And of course, everything we do to one side, we want to do to the other. So we'll turn. Same thing on this side. We're going to hold for 30 seconds at least. You can hold longer. And again, it should be a nice, good stretch. I'll have you return to your seat, and we're going to stretch those buttock muscles. I want you to cross your right leg over your left. One hand on your ankle, the other one on your knee if you can, and just give a gentle push on your knee. Keep your trunk nice and tall. And again, you should feel that pull in the buttocks muscles. Going to hold for 30 seconds. And then I'll have you switch to the other side. Trunk nice and tall. If your knee comes up like this, that's okay. Only let it go as far as you comfortably can, and enough to give you a stretch in that buttock muscle. I hope that you've enjoyed these exercises, and try to use them during the course of your day. Set an alarm if you need to remind yourself to get up and at least stand and squeeze those buttocks, or maybe use some, if not all, of these exercises. Again, we want to make sure that you stand every hour to help keep these buttock muscles, leg muscles strong. Remember, sitting is the new smoking. We want you to stay healthy. No smoking, no sitting for long periods of time. Again, we miss you. We look forward to having you back, and until then, keep exercising. Thanks for joining me.